Alright, so I'm going to show how to replace the charge port or the DC jack on this Acer Swift SF315-52 series. This is model number N17P6. Okay, so first what you want to do is get a T6 or Torx 6 screwdriver and remove all the screws from the bottom. So there's one up here. Okay, one, oops. And you want to try and keep these screws in order. You don't want to get them all mixed up. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Alright, so 11 screws from the bottom. Alright, let's see how easy or difficult this cover will be to remove. Once you remove the 11 screws, let's see if we can remove the cover with this suction cup. Nope. Nope. Okay, so can't remove that with a suction cup. Doesn't feel like it slides anywhere. So it looks like we're going to have to actually pry this thing up. Okay, so to do that, let me get my pry tool. I don't know if somebody knows a different way that makes it easier. Just let me know. Let other people know that are working on this. Alright, so what I do is I get a pry tool, get it in the front here underneath, and then I kind of just pry this forward. Okay, and I just go along and do that. Once I get a little bit of it up, usually I can kind of just go and lift the whole thing, but sometimes you will have to use the pry tool all the way around, which it seems like kind of, but kind of not. Okay, so I got this out and this, oops. Right, now that I got all of that, it looks like it's letting me actually pop the rest up just by kind of wiggling it and pulling it. There we go, we got the cover off. We'll set that aside. Let's see, where's the charge port? So the charge port is here. Hopefully it's the same as what the customer bought to replace it with. So I'm going to have to switch to a PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver now. Okay, so here you can see the battery. I'm going to disconnect the battery first. So there's these wings. What I like to do is just grab it and then just wiggle it just like that. And that's how you disconnect the battery. So I'm going to open up the screen slowly. Okay, and then press and hold the power button. Usually after disconnecting the battery, you want to press and hold the power button for about 10 to 15 seconds. This one, the battery, or not the battery, I guess the battery's dead because the charge port wasn't working. So you probably don't really need to hold the power button too long, but we'll do it just to be safe, okay? And then close it gently because now we're missing screws from the hinges since we took the cover off. Alright, so let's see. It looks like I'm going to have to take the whole logic board or motherboard out. So try and keep all the screws in order because they can be different sizes, shapes, and lengths. You don't want to get them all mixed up because you can damage components doing that, okay? So I'm going to peel this up just to see. Excuse me. Looks similar. It's just yellow, so I think it's the same. Okay, so now we're going to have to disconnect everything and peel up all this stuff. Okay, this might be a pain. Let's see here. How many things are we going to have to remove? Let's remove the battery first. So I took one screw out from here just to look at it, but we're going to remove the battery now. Okay, so there's one screw up here. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna have room to use my hot air station, but hopefully I will. Right, let's remove this screw here. If you're wondering, the battery model number is AC17B8K, okay? So let's continue removing these screws. Alright, there's another one down here. Alright, it looks like those are all the battery screws. A lot of times the computers I work on, somebody might have worked on them before. So if you see any screws that are on yours that aren't on mine, you most likely have to peel those off as well, okay? So I peeled up that adhesive. Now I'm going to lift this battery up. And there we go. It comes out just like that. You might have to kind of rotate it around. Okay, so there's that. Okay, looks like nothing's really holding that down. There's a screw holding down this fan, so let's take down that screw. Okay. There's a hard drive. It's a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive here. So if you wanted, you can replace that with a 2.5-inch SATA SSD. There's also an M.2 SSD here. I'm going to remove both of those, the hard drive and the SSD. So let's remove that one screw. After you remove the screw, what you want to do, there's actually a little pull tab here that you can use. You can lift it up slightly, and then once you get it up slightly, I guess that cover is just coming off by itself, but usually you'd want to actually grab this and then kind of wiggle and pull this out, okay? Just like that. And this is Intel Optane 16 gigs. So this is very little SSD space. It is a PCIe, so I guess it is PCIe NVMe, but I don't really know why they use this Intel Optane thing. I feel it makes more sense to just use a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD in the slot and install the operating system to it. Alright, anyways, now we're going to remove the hard drive. So there's this little connector here. You want to remove that by flipping up this latch. Okay. Once you flip that latch up, you can pull the connector out. Make sure you're only pulling on the blue tab here and not the cable itself, because you can pinch that cable and damage it. Alright, so we're going to remove the 4 screws holding the hard drive in place. Let me move this stuff out of the way. Oops. I need to clear some stuff off my desk. Okay. Alright, so we're going to remove the 4 screws holding the hard drive in place. Okay, so I got those 4 screws out. Now we're going to lift the hard drive out, okay, just like this. And we'll set that aside. If you wanted to change it to a SSD or another hard drive, you can. There's 4 screws holding it onto this bracket, and you do need to transfer this connector over, but you have to peel this tape and stuff up. So I don't want to mess with that because I don't want to risk damaging anything. But this connector you can kind of just slide out. All right, make sure you're just sliding out that connector. Right, since the customer doesn't need me to mess with hard drive stuff, they just need me to do the charge port. I'm not going to mess with other things and risk damaging things. There's very likely the RAM under here. I don't know if that's going to be easy enough for me to lift up to show. Looks like I might. I'm going to get my fingernail underneath the corner of this and see if I can pop it up. Looks like it's popping up. Okay, I'm going to go underneath this corner as well. Let's pop the whole thing up. Let's see here. I'm going to go around the corners, go around this corner. Alright. So let's see if I can lift this up without kind of completely taking everything out, because I don't want to risk damaging anything. Alright, this thing is held down with adhesive here, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift it up. I don't know if there's any hidden screws or anything, but let's see here. Is this the only thing holding it down? Feels like it. Okay, so let's pull this up a little bit. Right, I'm going to peel up the CMOS battery here. There we go, and then let's see if I can see anything underneath. Or is it, oh, it's all taped down. Okay, let me peel up the adhesive for the CMOS battery as well. Okay, there we go. So we got that out. And then let's lift this up and let's see if I can disconnect the CMOS battery here. Or at least just get it out of the way enough. Okay, removing the adhesive from the CMOS battery. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can lift this up now. Man, there's actually a lot of adhesive on this thing, so I don't want to peel it all up, but there is a RAM slot there. Actually, I might, I'll just do it, might as well. I took out most of it already. So let's pull this up. It's stuck on there somehow. Oh, there's actually a screw. Wait, is that holding on? Okay, so there's actually a screw here holding down the RAM cover. So we do have to remove that one screw. Okay, let's remove that one screw. I'll set that aside. Alright, then you can actually lift this up. Just be careful with the adhesives. Okay, this foil adhesive I kind of don't want to remove. Most RAM, you disconnect it the same way. So let's see, did I get this out enough that I can kind of just move it? There we go. Alright, so most sticks of RAM, you do it the same way. There's two little metal tabs. You kind of just pull them to the side. And then once you do that, the RAM stick will pop up. And then you can pull it like this. And this is 8 gigs PC4 2400T. So if you want to replace the RAM, that's what you would replace it with, okay? PC4 2400T, okay? You can get another 8 gig stick. There's only one in here right now. Or you can upgrade it and get like two 16 gig sticks or two 32 gig sticks. I don't feel anyone needs more than 8 gigs of RAM for the most part. Maybe a very small percentage of people. So depending on your usage, don't waste your money. You're better off getting an SSD and upgrading your computer that way. Okay, so I'm going to put this screw back in. Hopefully that wasn't holding it down to the board or anything. I think that's just holding it to it, the metal plate onto the board, but hopefully it's not holding the computer down, or it might be. So let's see, I might have to leave that screw off. Let's see here. It might be. So I'm going to take that screw out, I guess. Okay, so let's see, we got that screw, we got the fan screw, got this middle one. Alright, let's see. So I'm going to disconnect this cable as well. Flip up the latch. Alright, grab the blue connector. And then see if we can just pull that out. This one's tough. Okay, there we go. So you got that out. Alright, we're going to remove this connector as well. I believe this is the trackpad connector. Same thing, flip the latch up, then pull that cable out. We got the keyboard connector here. This one has these two little wings. Just pull it back, alright. Make sure the wings come out. And then you can pull that back. I am going to have to undo this adhesive. I have this little tool, but use whatever you can. Alright, just be careful not to damage the cable. Alright, once you peel it up slightly, you also don't want to crease it too much because that can damage the cable as well. But let's peel back that, and then we can pull the connector out. Then you got the keyboard backlight cable here. Same thing, flip up the latch, pull the connector out. Alright, CMOS battery, I already got it loose here, so I'm going to leave that as is. Then you got this connector here. I'm not sure what that is. Is that the fingerprint sensor? Oh yeah. So there's the fingerprint sensor connector here. Flip that latch up and pull that out as well. Alright, there's so many connectors on this board. Then you got the speaker connector here. Just grab the two ends like this. You can use whatever tools. This one's a little bit tough, but I just get in and I kind of just wiggle the connector like this. And just keep wiggling and pulling on it slowly. And it will pop out just like that. Okay. Let's see, what else is holding this down? We got the wireless antennas. There's some foam stuff on top. Looks like there's all this tape is on top. I kind of hate how they use all this tape. Alright, so let's peel that up. Alright, same thing with this one. Peel up this tape. Alright. Kind of a terrible design. Alright, and then it looks like we're going to have to... Actually, I'm going to leave the wireless card with the antennas on. I'm just going to remove the screw that's holding the wireless card down. Okay, and then now that I got the screw out, I'm actually going to lift the wireless card up here, if I can, and then I'm going to use this raised part to push the wireless card out, just like that, and then I'm just going to set this aside so it's no longer on the motherboard itself. Okay, there we go. So now we got that. Let's see if we can lift this board up or if something else is still holding it. So it feels like some screws. Oh, okay, so there's one screw here. Make sure to remove that as well. Okay, you want to go slow. Make sure you get all the screws. Try and lift it up again. Alright, let's lift up the whole thing. There might be screws underneath this as well. Okay, there's another screw under here holding this fan. Okay, so make sure you remove that as well. I think the fan will actually come out after removing those two screws. Let's see. Oh, there's tape holding it, so I'm going to leave it attached just like that. And let's slowly lift this some more. Oh, we do need to remove this LCD LVDS cable. So this little tape thing is usually kind of difficult to remove, but for some reason it peeled off really easily. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so let's peel this up. Alright, now that we got that peeled up, just get the wings, just like the other connectors, and kind of just wiggle it as you pull it. Again, this is very important that you held down the power button and drain the power before pulling this connector out, or you can easily damage the computer. Alright, so now we're going to lift this up. Hopefully there's nothing else connected. Alright, it looks like it's coming out. There we go. At an angle like this, and then you should be able to pull it away. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to, oops, this fan just came loose. I guess I'll remove the fan connector since it's kind of just loose there, and we'll set that aside. Alright, so here we can see the board here. So I'm going to use a hot air station, and I'm going to heat this up and then pull this connector out. Alright, let's see which side looks safer to heat. This side or this side? I think this side might be easier to heat because it's all metal. So I'm going to use hot air, heat this up, and then pull that connector out. Okay, I will be back in a bit. I need to get some special tools for this. Alright, so I'm back with my hot air station. So I'm going to just warm it up. Right, usually I put the low airflow but the higher temperature, and then I like to kind of heat up the board kind of all around, not in just that one spot, just so that the board won't all be concentrated heat in one area. This is just to get the board warm. Once I feel it's kind of warm enough, it's kind of hard to say how warm you want it, but I just kind of make it warm a little bit. Okay, just warm to the touch. Alright, and then after I got everything like kind of warmed up, I'll just focus the heat more on that one area that I'm trying to remove the part from. Okay, kind of just get the heat around there. Alright, now I'm going to kind of focus more on there. If my hand gets in the way, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to work. So alright, let's get some more heat all around. Alright, and then we'll focus on this piece here. Alright, so I'm just focusing on these little pins for the charge port here. And hopefully it's not gonna... Okay, so I can see the stuff is starting to bubble and melt. That's what we want. And slowly it's gonna come out, hopefully. There we go. And that's how you remove the charge port. Alright, I just turned off the thing and now it's just blowing cool air through it to kind of cool it down. Alright, so this thing makes it really easy to remove these, but as you can see, it like, I don't know if you can see, but the plastic on it melts, but that's fine. We're not reusing this piece. We're just gonna throw that away. Okay, so now we're going to have to get the replacement one, and I don't use the hot air for this because if I try and heat this to put this back in with the hot air, there's a good chance that I'm going to end up melting the thing and making it not work properly. So I use the hot soldering iron for this, and also I have to remove the solder that's still stuck in there first. So let's see, I'll show you how I do that in a bit. Okay, let me make sure this turns off so I can set it aside. I'm gonna get my soldering iron real quick and I will be back. Alright, so I'm back. So let me kind of try and set this thing aside so I have room to work. Okay. To be a little bit careful because my cat walks around here. Okay, so got my solder iron on. It's heating up. I'm gonna set this aside. Alright, so to do this, I have solder. Then I got this solder sucker thing that it helps pull the solder away, and then I got a thing of flux. Alright, so this helps me get the solder to stick, and it also helps me remove the solder. I don't know if I'll be able to show this on camera because I need this to be actually a lot higher, and it's going to be kind of dangerous if I tilt it up too high. Let me see what I can do actually. Can I tilt this up like this? Okay, that might work. I'm gonna have to actually tilt it slightly more off to the edge of my desk. So I'm gonna zoom out, and then hopefully that'll make it so you can see while I work on it. All right. So usually what I'll do, let me clean off the soldering iron. So usually what I'll do is I'll take the solder sucker and then I'll hold it underneath while I melt the solder. If it doesn't reach, I have to zoom out some more. Alright, and if it doesn't reach, then I have to use, or if I can't suck the solder out, I'll have to use some more solder or flux. Okay, let's see if I can get this on camera. It's kind of a weird setup I have. So if it doesn't melt like that, this is kind of dangerous. Then what I have to do is add some more solder or flux. Okay, usually it helps to add more solder. So what you do is you heat this area, and while you're heating the area, you touch the solder to that area, and the solder will hopefully flow into there. Alright, and once you get the solder to flow into there, you heat it, and then while you're heating it, again, this is hard to show on camera, so I'm probably only going to show like one of them, but basically you heat that. Okay, and then when it's all liquid, then you can use the solder sucker to pull the solder out. So I don't know if you can see, but now it's clear right there. Okay, so again, I'm not going to really be able to show this all on video, I think. Let me see if I can maybe tilt the camera off the edge of my desk. Let's see if I can do that, and then I can actually show it. So I'll see what I can do. Okay, you're going to be staring at my crotch, I'm sorry. But that's probably the only way I can kind of film this. Let's see. Okay, let's do it that way. Alright, so we got that one out. So now we're going to basically have to do the same thing with the other three. Sometimes it works better actually to add flux instead of solder, but whatever, we're going to do it the solder way. Okay, so heat that and solder. Yeah, adding solder is a little bit more difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add flux, and then that makes it a little easier. Right now it's cold in the place I'm working, so the flux is really like solid and crumbly. But anyways, let's see if I can do it this way, just to show you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna melt this stuff. Okay, so now that I got all the flux on there, let's see if I can heat it up and then suck it through. Okay. I don't think that worked. So I am going to have to add the solder. Okay, let's add the solder. There we go. Okay, adding some solder to each one. Alright, and the last one here. Okay, so now that I got solder up there so that I can actually reach it, let's put the solder sucker there, heat it up. Alright, pulled that through. Venus, go away, I'm trying to work. Okay, get that. Alright, let's get this one. The cat's making it hard to work. Okay. Jeez, stop knocking my stuff over. Okay, and then we'll suction out the last two. Alright, that one came out very nicely. And then we'll get the last one. Oops, that didn't work. Alright, last one. Okay, hopefully that's cleared out enough. So let's see here. Got that. Okay, so we had this, and then so that means I think this, if I remember correctly, it goes down this way. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to clear it out a little bit more on the last pin that I just did. There's still a bunch of stuff left on there. Okay. Let's see if I can add just a little bit. Okay, clean this up. Okay, let's see here. It's a little tough here. Suck it through. Nope. That one doesn't want to work. So what I might have to do is heat it while I pull it through, but we'll try it one more time. It's pulling. Sorry, my head's getting in the way. It's pulling it, but not good enough. So let's see. Okay, let's try it again. It keeps leaving some behind, so I'm not sure. Let me try doing it this way, where it's upside down. Okay. Let's try and heat it from this side and see if I can get it to go through. Didn't work. This one's being difficult. Doesn't want to melt through. Okay, let's see. Let's flip this again. Let's try it out a little more again. Do this off to the side. I can't get a good suction on this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to heat it while I pull it through. So let's try this. So I'm gonna put the charge port on here. I hope I'm putting this the right direction because I might be putting it upside down. Let's see. Okay, those all go that way, so I think it has to go this way actually. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, since all the other pins are already melted, I'm going to melt this while I push this up, and hopefully it will go in. Okay. Alright, let's try and push this thing up while I pull on it. I don't think it's going up. Let's see here. Come on. Melt, come through. Okay, I think it's actually in now. Alright. Alright, so it looks like the rest are in. So now what I want to do to make it easier, I actually put flux on each little pin. Let me double check and make sure everything is in. Kind of. No, it's not completely in. Alright, so I'm gonna put flux there, and hopefully when I heat it up it will flow better. Alright, so let's put some flux on this. It's all crumbly because it's so cold right now. Okay, now let's try heating this up while I push it through. Do want the flux on all three, but come on. There we go. Now it pushed all the way through. Okay. So I'm just heating it up so it flows. Alright, now we're going to get the solder and put it on the rest of the pins. So heat up the pin, and touch the solder to it. There we go. Right, same thing. Okay, there we go. Alright, and then now the two outer ones here. We're going to have to add some flux over there as well. A little bit there. Alright, then we just heat up the flux, get it to flow in place, and then while you're heating it, touch the solder to it. Come on. Let's clean this off. It's going on the soldering iron. Come on, go on the little... There we go. Okay. Now it's going where I want it. Good. Alright, now back onto this side. Let's add a little more flux there as well. I actually only need a little bit. I'm putting too much, and I'm gonna have to like burn it all off and clean it up. But just need a little bit there. Okay. Then we heat it up. Let's clean off the iron because it's gross. Alright, and then touch it onto there. That's actually a lot that I put on there. Okay, it flowed down. Good. Perfect. That one's good. That one's good. And that one's good. Oops, I didn't mean to stick it up there. Alright, so we're good to go. And I'm going to clean off the soldering iron. Alright, so I'm just using this wet sponge to clean it off and make sure that no solder is on it. And then I'll get some new solder and I'll tin the tip with that. Okay? Sorry, I'm doing it off camera because I don't want to hold it over the board. Okay, but basically you add new solder to the tip after you turn it off, and that will keep it from getting bad. Alright, so I'm going to put that away. I'm going to get some napkins. And then we're going to clean up the excess flux that's on this piece. Let's see here. To help clean it off, you actually want to use some rubbing alcohol, but for now I'm just going to clean off the excess with a paper, okay? Just like this. But you can use rubbing alcohol on the paper to make it come out easier. So I'm going to clean this up and then I'll add some rubbing alcohol after and clean it up some more. Alright, oh, let me actually zoom back in over here. Okay, so clean most of that up. Now we get some rubbing alcohol here. Okay. Alright, so I got some rubbing alcohol and I'm going to use that to clean this up. Okay, use a little more. This one's a little difficult to get into the components to clean it up. I'm doing the best I can. Trying to clean off all that excess brown goopy gunk, which is the flux. Okay, we almost got it all out. Alright, I'm going to get a new piece of paper. Let's see if I can clean off the rest. that's as cleaned up as we're gonna get there. Okay. All right. Clean off the flux from my hand. Oops. All right, so now we just got to put it all back together. Let's see here. I'm going to set aside all this stuff. Okay, so now we're going to put it back together. Let's grab the computer. All right, so this piece, oops, make sure you got it the right way. Okay, so you want to get these sides in first. It's the headphone jack. Okay, so you want to get this side in first. All right, put it in at an angle, just like the way we took it out. Make sure you get all the cables out of the way. You don't want them trapped underneath. Okay, slowly slide it in. Make sure the headphone jack lines up. All right, and then you can slowly drop it down, making sure that none of the cables are going underneath. Okay. Very important that the cables and stuff aren't underneath the board. Okay. Alright, slowly drop it down. Alright, and then make sure. Okay, then you can grab this connector. Just do the reverse how we took it out. Line it up. Okay, and then use the wings to pull it in. Alright, just like that. Squeeze the two layers together. Alright, and then you can put the adhesive back down. Put the speaker connector back in. Squeeze the two together. Alright, fingerprint sensor connector back in. Hopefully you can see everything and hopefully my head's not getting in the way. I need to try and see what I'm doing, so I might get in the way. Just like that. Alright, CMOS connector or battery. Make sure the tape gets out of the way. Alright, so let's see here. The screws. Am I missing one? Okay, so let's see if I'm putting this back. Hopefully I put them back right. So we've got the first one here. Alright. We've got another screw down here. I might be missing one. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay, I think I got it. Alright, so let's put the fan back in. Alright, plug that fan in. Push that in. Alright, let's get this connector in. Make sure the latches are up when you put the connectors in. This one's a little tricky. It doesn't want to go in right. Or is that as far as it goes? Oh, that's as far as it goes. Okay. Put that in. Alright. Don't forget the wireless card. And then lift up the tape so it can go underneath. Alright. Plug this in. Push this in. Be careful for the antennas. You don't want to damage them. Alright, go. Get that one screw and put that underneath. Make sure you get it underneath that little foam thing. Okay, just like that. Alright, lift up the latch, get that connector in. That. Alright. make sure the latches are out when you pull these connectors in, and then pull that back. Okay, you can put the adhesive to hold it in place. Right, make sure those are flush. Looks good. Right, keyboard backlight connector. Just like that. Am I missing one here, or did this? Oh, that's the hard drive connector. Okay, we can put the CMOS battery back in place. Lift the adhesive up. Lift that adhesive up as well. Alright, put that back in place, put that back down. Alright, let's put the hard drive back in. Alright, get these back in. It's kind of weird. Okay, put that in place. Let's put back the 4 hard drive screws. Get this fan screw in as well. Last hard drive screw. Alright, put the M.2 SSD in place. Push that back in. Alright. Get that screw, put that in. Okay, let's grab the 2 screws that were underneath this adhesive. Alright, that one goes into the fan. And then this one goes into this metal plate. Alright, stick that down. Let's get the battery. You have to make sure to get these latches in place, okay? The bottom ones as well as the top ones. Right, looks like these ones are the most important, and then these ones just fall in place. Alright, now let's get back in all these screws. One. Alright, let's put this latch in. That's the battery. Squeeze the 2 pieces together. There we go. Put that little piece of tape back on as well. Alright, second screw up here. And the last screw up here. Okay, I think it's like 5 or 6 a.m. right now, so hopefully this repair worked. This is the last one for the day, and then I'm going to be going to sleep. Okay, clip all this back in place. There we go, and then we switch back to the screwdriver for that, which is the T6. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, put back the T6 bits. Normally I would test it before I put back all these screws, but if it doesn't work, I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it. I already replaced the part. So I'm just going to put it all back together. But usually it's a good idea to not reconnect everything first, or not put all these screws back. That way you can test everything, make sure everything's working, the battery, the charge port, and all the keyboard, trackpad, fingerprint sensor. Can test all of that first, but since the customer didn't give me their password, I can't really test all of that. So either way, it works or it doesn't. I'll see at least when I plug it in if the light comes on, and that's the most important part. The cover wasn't too difficult, so might as well put it back together. Alright, last 4 screws here. Alright, and last 2. Right. screw, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, like and subscribe, because that'll help others find my videos. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna now just plug it in and see what happens. But yeah, alright, so I'll set that aside. Okay, let's flip this over. Let's see about the charger. I think they gave me the charger in a bag here, so let's see here. Okay, they actually brought a brand new charger, so hopefully this works. Alright, so I got that. Okay, I'm gonna plug this in and we'll see what happens. I'm too tired to put everything away, so hopefully this works. Okay. Alright, sorry, this thing is all tangled up. I'm trying to untangle it. Okay, there we go. Or not. Okay. So let's plug this in. Right now there's no lights on the side here. So these lights here are off. Let's plug it in and see what happens. Huh. Still nothing. So guess it's not a charge port. Oh, actually, the battery light just came on. Wow, that took a while. Wait, what's going on? Okay, yeah, the orange light is on, so we are good to go. So hopefully this video helped you guys. Again, if it did, like and subscribe, help others find my videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Let's power it on. Keyboard light's coming on. That's good, because before it wouldn't turn on at all. So Acer logo. All right, we're good to go. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.